All right, good. Welcome back. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm your host, Sean with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and today we have the Pocket Change Market Report Graded Coin Edition. Due to popular demand, people do want to see the graded version of my normal weekly publication of the Pocket Change Market Report, where normally we talk about just raw, ungraded material that you can find in Change and cherry picking local coin shops and shows, and then therefore adding them to your collection or simply just reselling them. However, there are certain coins that I would say would greatly benefit from coin grading, and this is sending it off to PCGS, NGC, and I would even say Annex is another great company to deal with because they are going to be the cheapest option out of the three. But it gets your attribution, your variety, your error on a label. It legitimizes what we have here. Now, obviously, the reasons are far and wide. A couple of them that kind of come to mind is the coin actually benefits from coin grading to where it's going to be worth a lot more money. That's number one. Number two, sometimes an error in a variety can be a little bit complex, and then with the complexity comes having to try and, well, explain what you have. Sometimes that's just going to be next to impossible. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and grade the coin with the error attribution, and it's going to make it a lot more easier to really showcase what you have. You're going to see a number of coins, but on this list today, that I'm glad they are in a graded holder. But the market is the market. You know, coins, even graded, still sell for a lot of money, or they could sell for very little money. Again, I make that distinction known every time I load up a Pocket Change Market Report. Only grade a coin if it's necessary, okay? And that kind of qualification list that you have to consider is very short. Otherwise, you know, a coin that traditionally would sell for $20, $30, $50 won't really greatly benefit from a coin grading at all. All right, and that would be the reason why you wouldn't do that. So we have, as you can see, highly desired speared bison nickel. Yeah, pretty notable sale because it's one of the more generously priced coins that have sold here in the last week. You're going to see that here momentarily, and then we're going to take a look at all the other coins that I firmly believe deserved the graded holder that they're in. Now, the coins that I'm going to talk about make up a very small percentage of the overall amount of coins graded already that have sold on eBay. You're going to see a lot of coins that, if you went back on eBay, you're going to see a lot of coins that don't deserve the graded holders. All right, let's go ahead and check out some of the coins here. These are all from about the last 7 days worth of material. Some maybe a few days older than that as well. Yeah, we're going to start off on the really nice pair of Wisconsin statehood quarters. Just reading the label, a lot of you are familiar with what these are. We have a pair of 2004 D quarters with the extra high leaf variety and the extra low leaf variety. Now, this is one right here you need to know exactly what you have before you send it off to the grader. Sure, the high leaf and the low leaf variety are easy to see. They're very easy to spot, even with the naked eye. However, do you have to send off that low graded XF circulated coin? Probably not. Those actually sell really well as a raw coin. Adding in grading and error or variety attribution can actually cost a lot of money. And with that, it's going to eat into your profits when you try and sell these. Now, this is a really attractive set because it's matching grades. We have a pair of Mid-State 65 coins, both through PCGS. Here's the backs right here. I mean, really nice. They look like they were graded about 10 years ago from that old hologram design on the reverse there. But this one right here, for the 2-coin set, actually ended up selling for $575. We have seen the prices of these jump up quite a bit here in the last 12 to 18 months. I would say they have jumped up about 15 to 20%. It used to be that you could get a 2-coin set in the same grade for under $400. That doesn't quite seem to be the case anymore. And even just looking on greatcollections.com, a lot of those sets have been selling for a pretty good amount of cash. So yeah, I mean, this is really cool here. A nice 2-coin set, and these are fantastic. Again, if you know they're mid-state and they're going to grade as such, I would probably entertain grading them. All right, you're gonna end up doing okay. The people are gonna love the coins a lot more. If anything, it's going to be a much easier sale, a much quicker sale for you, even though it's not going to realize, more money in the marketplace than, say, if they were raw. So, yeah, not too bad. This is a really cool 2-coin set here. All right, so, yeah, this is the first coin I would say if you had this in your hand ungraded, you probably don't know what you have. All right, this is the most complex coin on the list today, and ironically, it's the most expensive as well. So this is actually a 2016 Lincoln Shield Cent. I know it's kind of hard to believe, but bear with me while I try and sort through all the things that's going on with this coin. So it was struck 3 times. There are 2 other strikes that are completely off center. You can see that pretty cleanly. It's even struck through. Okay, you can see that there on the reverse. So there was either a wrinkled up die cap or something to that effect. I don't know. And it looks like it's broad struck too. And that's actually on the holder. This coin is pretty nutty. And this particular example ended up grading Mid-State 63 red. So in case I miss anything, it's all there on the label. Triple struck, second and third strikes are all center, struck through reverse, and broad struck. Okay, so I did an actually relatively good job telling you what's on the coin. This thing is amazing, and it was eloquently described to a T on the graded holder, so that way you don't have to. It's going to make the sale a lot easier. All right, for sure. I mean, if you go and sell this on eBay, or if you consign it with an auction house, it's good that all this information's on there for that. This particular coin, oh my goodness, ended up selling for $4,000. Check out the shipping, $2.95. I hope, CTF Error Coins sells a lot of error coins on eBay. They're one of the bigger outfits to deal with on eBay as of right now. Hopefully, they're going to end up coughing up a few more dollars to ensure that this coin is properly packed and shipped, and not $2.95 worth of effort into it. But yeah, this is a pretty crazy looking coin. And again, yeah, this one, no doubt about it, should be sent to PCGS or NGC. All right, I would say this is a pretty good example of a coin that you can make the argument it could go either way. You could grade this, all right, and be okay with it, and you could sell this raw and be okay with it. The prices are going to be relatively the same by the time you factor in the intangibles like the grading, submission fees, and shipping and things of that nature. But we have a 1964 nickel that was struck on a cent planchet. So the planchet is actually a copper or a bronze, or however you want to classify it. You know, the difference is very minuscule. A bronze is a copper planchet with a little bit of tin in there. And yeah, this coin is a Mid-State 64 red. It's a full red example. I'm willing to bet it probably looks a lot more red in hand than it does on these pictures. This particular coin right here, a best offer was indeed accepted in the amount of $250 for this coin. If you were to sell this raw, you're probably going to come close to around $150 to $200 on the secondary market. These things are actually tough to replicate if you were going to file down the edges because, hey, it was struck on a copper planchet. So you can't really fake that all too well with any sort of degree of confidence. So again, this is a good coin here to grade, but you don't necessarily have to do so. The next one that we have here is a coin that personally you don't have to grade unless the coin is mid-state, which this one is, albeit not the best looking example of a mid-state version of this coin. It's a 1944 D over S Lincoln Wheat Cent. This is actually the FS 512. It's OMM number 2 in the cherry, or actually in the attribution guides online. The coin is in pretty nice shape. Here's a little close up. Per the original listing, you can see that inner kind of curl of the S inside of the D, which is what you're going to want to look for on this one. This one right here, graded out PCGS Mid-State 63 red. It has the attribution right on the label, and I think you're going to realize that grading this is probably a little bit better of an option, considering that this lower mid-state grade to some people might be a turnoff, or it might come off as a coin that was played around with, maybe dipped or something like that. In a graded holder, just kind of helps seal the deal a little bit. So this one right here ended up selling for $349. All right, pretty solid sale. Of course, these things get a lot more expensive the higher the grade it goes. So again, you can make the argument that grading this particular variety is probably a good call here. The next one that we have here, again, not all of this particular variety deserves a graded holder. This is a 1945 Micro S Mercury Dime. This coin is stunning. This one ended up as just a brilliant, very lustrous, beautiful coin. It's one of the notable Mercury Dime varieties, of course, affecting the final date of this very popular series. The coin that you see here is the PCGS Mid-State 65 full bands. Again, shows Micro S and the FS number, and it's CAC certified as well, which always helps out in the cause. This is such a great looking coin, and this is one that's heavily pursued as a graded mid-state version. And this one right here was actually organically bid up to $625.15. Just a very nice blast white example. This is one that no doubt about it, grading this coin was the right call here. Otherwise, the coin could have sold raw for maybe $150 to $200. Which will leave a lot of money on the table. So if the coin looks like it's a great candidate for a graded holder because of its actual grade, then that says it all right there. Just go ahead and send that thing in. All right, so here's our aforementioned speared buffalo. Now the pictures don't do this variety justice. So this one actually has the speared, what they call die dent, where actually there's what appears to be a scratch, but more notably it's a dent. You can see the bottom spike right here, but kind of wish the seller had taken better high quality pictures of that particular point of the coin, which actually gives this coin all the value. On a otherwise semi-newish date, this coin is pretty neat to find. This one right here ended up grading as a PCGS Mid-State 65. You can see speared Bison on text right on the label. Pretty easy to see there. And this particular coin, wow, ended up selling for $557.57 here about a week ago. Pretty crazy. This is like one of the higher priced versions of this coin. Obviously, the power play of sending it off to PCGS certainly paid off. I've seen these coins sell for under $100 raw. So if you're able to lock in a pretty nice graded example, then that would be a huge smart move to go ahead and do and then resell if that's what your motivation is. All right, I would say this is a no-brainer to grade. This is actually a 1969 cent that was struck on a dime planchet. So it's a copper nickel-clad dime planchet. As you can see, the coin's silver. It's slightly smaller and probably a little bit thinner as well. This is actually a PCGS True View from the seller's listing. This one right here ended up selling for $699.90, again, by one of the top error dealers on eBay, Certified City. Sells quite a few error coins on their website. This one also has the Fred Weinberg pedigree, okay, which is right on the graded holder. Fred Weinberg actually ended up consigning a lot of his coins on Heritage Auctions a while back, and so there's a lot of these coins floating around. People bought them up during the show at that time, and then now they're flipping them and trying to make some money off of them. So right here, yeah, $700 is a really solid sale for this coin, and otherwise tough date that you just don't see of this particular error type. Speaking of cool, here's another good one right here. This is actually a 2000D Jefferson nickel that was struck on an already struck 2000 Lincoln cent. So this is a double denomination error. I would say that most of these should be graded, especially the 6-cent double denoms like you see here. Only because some of the devices become obliterated from the previous host coin. Like you could see barely enough of the Lincoln Memorial here on the obverse, right where Jefferson's profile is. But yeah, again, another coin that probably 90% of the time should be sent off to the graders. Especially if you're looking to resell it sometime in the future. It's just going to do wonders for your sale and help kind of legitimize everything, like I had said before. This one right here is the Mid-State 63. You can see it says double denom on struck cent. Good looking coin, albeit more on the kind of like brown side of things. It looks like the coin probably circulated a little bit, so it's been through a few hands on its way to where we're at today. This one right here, a best offer, was accepted in the amount of $845 for this coin. They're all quite rare and quite valuable. So being that we're starting to get really pricey with these errors, it certainly helps investing $50, $60 to attribute these through the graders. PCGS, of course, is like $65 for an error attribution and grade, so that's quite pricey. But yeah, take the time to do a little research, see how much these sell for, and then kind of make that decision of whether or not, grading is going to be the right call for something like this. Now here's another one that I would say most of the time you should grade, and that is any sort of mid-error on proof coinage. I've stressed this once and I'll say it again. These coins traditionally don't get released in the mint packaging. A lot of them are white gloved into the holders. So finding one is a scarcity play here. This is a trophy coin for a lot of error collections. But we have an undated Jefferson nickel that was actually struck on a Roosevelt dime copper nickel composition planchet. All right, so it's a dime planchet. You can actually see some of the copper core here on the edges right here as the coin was struck, and then all of the material kind of flowed outwards, kind of exposing more than it needs to. But yeah, a lot of devices are lost here because it is a much smaller planchet that we're dealing with. But yeah, hard to believe that something like this ever came out of the mint. No doubt about it, a correct coin to grade 100% of the time. This one is a Proof 67 Cameo. You can see struck on clad 10-cent plan. And this particular coin right here ended up selling for the final amount of $1,200. And again, yeah, see the big price discrepancies, ranges for these errors. Proof coins are always going to be incredibly sought after for errors. Now here's another great double denomination here. This is actually the 11-cent double denom. It's one of the more common styles of the double denomination error. And this is actually one of the more common dates. This is a year 2000, Philadelphia. Lincoln cent that was struck over an already produced Roosevelt dime. You can actually see, if you were sitting there and staring at it long enough, you could see some of the previous design of the host coin. But yeah, really cool. I mean, these things stick out like a sore thumb. They do pop up in circulation when you least expect it. We actually talked about one on our live coin Q&A show here last week. And it was such a beautiful coin, and congrats to the person that found it many years ago. This one right here is a Mid-State 66 through PCGS, a very, very clean example. The seller got exactly what they wanted from it. Someone threw a bid in last second in the amount of $1,650. Again, when coins become this valuable, it should be a no-brainer move to just send it to PCGS or NGC. Okay, so yeah, good luck explaining what in the world this thing is. I mean, by the time I tell you what exactly it is, it's going to become pretty clear. So this is a mint error on a later dated Lincoln Memorial cent. You can tell because of the exposed zinc core on here. So it's like a post 1982 coin. No readable date from what we can see here. This is actually a Brockage from a shifted die cap. So yeah, pretty amazing coin right here. A lot of people won't know what this is at first glance because it exhibits multiple facets of the U.S. Mint error attribution terminology. Pretty crazy looking coin, and again, no doubt about it, send it off to the graders, because if you're trying to sell this online, people are going to automatically assume the worst, right? They're going to say, man, that thing's beat up. It looks like it was played around with. It looks like a garage job. That's what people say in the community if these things are not in holders. So this one here is a Mint State 66 red, which is a really fantastic grade. I thought this thing wouldn't even be that level from the previous images. But yeah, there you go. Brockage from shifted cap is what PCGS notes this one. Even says mint error on there and no date, of course. This one right here ended up selling for kind of a bargain at $200. This is probably a coin that is so polarizing to look at. And any errors on copper or the copper-coated zinc compositions are not quite the perennial favorite in the community among error collectors because of what they are. The coins look like they're going to disintegrate in front of you if you stare at it long enough. Albeit it's kind of like watching grass grow at that point, but you know what I mean. So this one right here, $200 is what it sold for. Again, the smart money move is to grade it just to help kind of make people comfortable in knowing what they're getting. All right, pretty cool here. Again, I am 100% for coins like this being in graded holders. This is a 2000D, I believe, Jefferson nickel. It's double struck. The second strike is about 65% off center on this one. $335. This one was bid up through a number of folks. 31 bids total is where this one ended up at. This is just a really eye-appealing, very attractive coin. And having it in a holder is going to make it doubly more attractive to the people that want it. And yeah, just a phenomenal sale here. I've seen these sell for a lot less. If you look at my Pocket Change Market Report, my regular raw edition that I do twice a week, yeah, I mean, these things can sell upwards of about $80 to $100 raw. Yeah, the same coin with the same second strike that's off center by that much. Grading it, certainly the right move here. It did enhance the value. Now this one's neat here. It looks quite minor, and it is. However, when people collect these, they collect them by date. Now this right here, I could probably tell you, probably a key date with a rim clip. And that's really all you need to know. This is another one of those Bison nickels, 2005P in this case. This one is a Mint State 64. Just a proper grade for the coin. That someone had recognized as there not being too many of them out there with this kind of error. And this one, again, there's another picture of the slab. The coin ended up selling for $249.97. There's actually a proper reverse image right there for you of the Bison and that clip. Again, another one of the perennial favorite sellers, CTF error coins, was the seller on this particular piece. And much like the nickel, we have another one here, although this one has an extra added element to it. It's got that indent on the reverse. That's where another planchet was overlapping this one during the second strike, and that's how we end up with the indent. 1974D that shows two completely separate dates on the same coin, I think is just neat to me. I think this is one of the coolest errors I've seen in quite a while. If you look at the reverse, it looks like it was triple struck, but all of what you need to know is on the front of the coin. This one right here, Mid-State 65 red, is what it ended up as. I would be personally happy to own a coin like this. It's just phenomenal. This one right here ended up selling for $849.97 was its final price. Someone hit that buy. They couldn't hit that buy it now button quick enough to get this into their collection. Just a beautiful coin. And then finally, we're going to end it off on one of the coins that I feel like best exemplifies what we consider to be polarizing. Like, you just don't know how people will look at this coin. People will say, well, man, that's really awfully, weakly struck. It could be a thin planchet, right? I've heard that all the time. Oh, man, there was a lot of grease on the dies before this thing was struck. Yeah, heard that too. But another one that people really, really love throwing out there because they know it's the most, I guess it's the one thing that a lot of people would disagree with, and that is the die adjustment strike. It's kind of a trial strike, and that's actually what it is. During the testing phase of setting the new dies in the presses, they have to test actually the pressure of the strikes. So they have to sit there and calibrate with each test strike that they do. Is a strike too strong? Is it too weak? Like this one here, where you don't have the proper struck rims on there. By the way, which is one of the things you look out for on a die adjustment strike. There's a lot of things that the Mint employees, figure into setting up the machinery in order for the coins to be produced. And the testing process of the pressure of each strike is important, for quality. They want to make sure it's a quality piece by the time it's all produced. So this one right here, no numerical grade. I mean, you could send off a coin just to get the attribution on there. In this particular case, what you guys didn't know is that this is a 90% silver planchet, or coin, rather. Which is quite scarce to find on die adjustment strike attributed coins, for sure. We normally see these on much more later dated stuff, copper nickel clad, various denominations, things like that. But the coin ended up selling for $299.90. It seems like cheap to me. $384 APR for a less dramatic example in 2021. So. Certified City Net, again, another prominent seller of error coins online, ended up taking a little bit of a discount for this really neat piece of numismatic error strike. And pretty cool coin, and again, probably one that I would say, if you're unsure and you want to kind of like quell all of the backroom talk and the people, the keyboard warriors talking smack about how this is not a die adjustment strike, go ahead and get it graded. That's going to go ahead and take care of any sort of rumor mill type stuff and back alley talk. But that's it, guys. That's what I wanted to talk about. The PCMR graded edition is finally done. I didn't do a PCMR proper over the weekend, so I figured, I'll go ahead and throw one of these up on the Monday morning, so that way it gives you guys some perspective. People want to see the type of coins that should be graded. Everybody always asks, should I get this graded? And 99% of the time, I'll generally say no for a myriad of reasons. Too minor, it's not an error or variety at all, things like that. It's too low grade. Grade still does matter with error coins, okay? Don't let that fool you. But I am your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my video if you enjoyed today's content. Also do the same for my channel, because I could always use more of your endorsement. That would be awesome. Coinaholics, we are discovering together. You guys enjoy this hobby that we all know and love. Who doesn't like to collect money, right? It's not a nerdly thing to do. It's an awesome masculine thing to do. Yeah. Or feminine thing to do. I don't know. It's just an awesome thing to do. It's everybody's hobby. And, it's really cool. That's going to go ahead and do it. You guys take care. Have a great day. And I will see you on the next coin video. So long, y'all.